All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Jermall Charlo is the toughest fight for Canelo Alvarez and needs to happen next, says Hall of Fame fighter Bernard Hopkins. But not just that, he actually shares what Canelo Alvarez's biggest risk is coming from, and this is his words, coming from him, Bernard Hopkins, a truly active fighter. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, there is a saying out there that said that is what is the saying? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And what that is supposed to talk about is that you can be very, very talented. You can be, have a lot of skill and be the best in the world. But if you get in your head that you have made it and stop working and doing the things that are necessary to get you where you were and where you got to, that eventually somebody's going to catch you or you're going to decline and something is going to happen that way, right? So when, it's kind of also another story is, that the rabbit versus the hare, right? Where the rabbit jumps out real fast and then relaxes and goes to sleep. But the turtle or the tortoise the tortoise just keeps going and going and going and going. And since the tortoise thought the talented, fast rabbit thought that he was going to make it, the slow tortoise eventually caught up to him and wins the race. That's kind of the, two of the different two stories told in the same way, right? One is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And the other one is the rabbit and the hare. So what does this have to do with Jermall Charlo, Canelo Alvarez, and Bernard Hopkins? Well, Bernard Hopkins is a Hall of Fame fighter on a level that neither Canelo Alvarez nor Jermall Charlo is, in my opinion, at the moment. Despite the best media attempts possible to name Gennady Golovkin as a 22 title defense winning, no, he's not. He had 9. The guy with the record is Bernard Hopkins that I do believe got to either 21 or 22, all at 160 pounds. All of it well into the age of 40, one of the most disciplined fighters that I can think of, otherwise known as the alien. But not that he has different DNA or alien DNA. He just knows that he had to stay in shape all the time, stay within his weight all the time. I do believe he said in an interview not too long ago that at one point close to the end of his career, he's like, I have not had a piece of cheesecake in 14 years or some ridiculousness like that. That's how committed a guy Bernard Hopkins was and how he got to where he is with that type of commitment on a day in and day out basis. So when he says that Jermall Charlo is the biggest risk for Canelo Alvarez, and then he starts talking about giving advice and saying things like in this interview, now this is my opinion of what he said, in the interview, he says, me as an active fighter, there's going to be a lot of people who are fighting in who are going to regret in 2021 and 2022 not being active and not fighting the best in the year 2020. Now, that was a cryptic message from Bernard Hopkins. So, and you know how Bernard Hopkins is. He's kind of like Teddy Atlas. He thinks, he pontificates, but I'll tell you what he is for sure is a very, very bright man who knows the sport of boxing. And he was talking about Canelo, at least that's the way that I could read it. Because he said this, two interviews he said this about Canelo. One, he said that he believed that Callum Smith was just a fight, just to shake the cobwebs off, just to get out there, shake the cobwebs off. And then what would be the next fight after that? Yaldemir, I think that's his name. I'm sorry for remembering his name. But who is that? What is that? That is another just get active type of fight, right? That's not high level competition. So think about what Jermall Charlo is doing. Even if you think, I've never heard of these guys before, they were not tomato cans, okay? Sergey Derevyanchenko is a different level of fighter than Callum Smith. But this is not necessarily just about what Jermall Charlo has done. This is about what Canelo Alvarez is doing or not doing and has not really been doing since about 2018. I do believe the last truly competitive fight that he had was Gennady Golovkin won. And if you go back and look at my videos that I did, I can't speak for what you think or what other people said. I spoke at length about how I thought that Canelo Alvarez was catching Gennady Golovkin at the right time because Gennady Golovkin looked like number one, he's overrated. From jump, he was overrated by HBO. Very good fighter, but overrated, as I told you about the record that they tried to give him to match Bernard Hopkins. Dude, Gennady Golovkin's title defense reign at middleweight is one short of Deontay Wilder's at heavyweight. That's how fictitious these people in the media will be with the records that they try to build for people. But regardless, Gennady Golovkin was considered a very, very good fighter, right? He beat him in 2018. And he has not fought. He beat a guy that the best fight since 2018 that he had, 2018 that Canelo Alvarez had, was against Daniel Jacobs, who Gennady Golovkin had already beaten. And what's the significance of that? If Gennady Golovkin can walk you down, Canelo Alvarez can walk you down. That's a matchup thing. If Daniel Jacobs' jab is not enough to keep Gennady Golovkin up off of him, and his movement enough to keep him off of him, and his pop enough to keep him off of him, it's not going to be enough to do that for Canelo. So, like I said, when you're matchmaking, that's a safer bet than Jermall Charlo. And if you go look at the videos that I did on like Instagram and for non-fantasy fights, go look at the knockout reel for Jermall Charlo, and you will notice he has knocked people cold by brushing them up off top of the head with a left hook. He is not the same fighter as Daniel Jacobs. So what Bernard Hopkins is saying, in my opinion, is, look, man, don't be surprised if you see Canelo Alvarez get beat if he's not careful, if he doesn't fight Jermall Charlo. Now, what is that? Now, why would he say that? I have to just pontificate, right? Or I've just got to guess here, educated guess. Why would he say that he should fight Jermall Charlo next and not wait? Why? Now, this is Bernard Hopkins. He's a Hall of Famer. He's got to be. He's a promoter. This guy's knows boxing. Why would he say Jermall Charlo now and not later? I think I know. Because the route that Canelo Alvarez is talking about is going to run into Caleb Plant. And Canelo Alvarez better be careful when he tries to step up against guys that are 168 and 175, and he gets that wrong. If he thinks that, that Caleb Plant, for example, that Caleb Plant fights anything like these flat-footed dudes or even Billy Joe Saunders, those two last fights are not the same mode after Yaldemir, right? So I'm not saying that Canelo Alvarez wouldn't be favored to win these, but if he is not fighting at the highest level and he and other guys are testing themselves and completely getting better and consistently getting better, at a point in time, dude, the tortoise will pass the hare, right? Because the hare ran out, I'm ahead of everybody, I'm making all this money, I'm a Hall of Famer, look at all my accolades. Meanwhile, the tortoise, Charlo, or Demetrius Andrade, who didn't get the quick start, but just had to keep stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping, all of a sudden are now fully developed fighters who have fought a series of different competition that were designed to make them be able to beat Canelo, right? They've been game planning for this guy just like Teofimo Lopez has been game plan for Lomachenko. They've already got game plans designed for him. They're just waiting to be able to get in the ring and see if they can pull it out. And I'm going to tell you who knows for sure. A guy named Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields is the coach for Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara is the last guy to beat Canelo Alvarez. So, dude, if he doesn't go to Jermall Charlo and can beat Jermall, he'll mess around and get in with a guy much bigger than him and lose like that. But if he's able to beat Jermall Charlo now, and that's a serious competition, and it legitimately really clears out 160, then 160 dude that's got to build a lot of confidence. I mean, I'm sure he's already confident, but I'm telling you, man, he's not looking like all that. And I think Bernard Hopkins is right in what he's saying. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.